Alright, this is Chris Powell.
And Meifang Chen.
Today we're going to be discussing the article Getting the Oops Out of Spreadsheets by Franz Herrmann, which was published in the Journal of Accountancy in October of 1999. And what we'll be discussing is different ways to use built-in Excel tools to help check our errors that we may commit in Excel. So for example, one thing we can do to lessen the chance that errors will occur in Excel is we can input range checks to make sure that users are putting in the right information. As well, we can add explanatory comments to tell the users what information to put in. We can make sure that the correct number of decimals is showing, and as well there's a neat function which will review all formulas and make sure that they're working correctly. And as well we can look and see all the formulas easily within the Excel worksheet and see how they all relate with one another. So with that said, we'll go ahead and start the tutorial. Okay, so first off we'll begin by using the data validation tool. So first off, what we want to do is we want to make sure that users put in only the information that we want them to in the quantity box and as well in the unit price, item number, and date. So first off, we're going to start with the date, and to use the validation tool, we'll go and click on the data ribbon and then click on data validation. But first we'll make sure we select the boxes we want to apply the code to. So we'll select those boxes and click on the data validation tool. And then what we can do is, this case for the date, we're going to select the date. We're going to do dates in between. We have all these options right here. And we're going to go ahead and put in the date. So this is year first, month second, and then the date last. And then, but you can do it however your computer is formatted for its date. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. So any date in between 2001 and 2020 will allow, okay? Now, when they hover over the cell, we'll go ahead and just put the title date and just tell them to please input the current date. Okay, and if an error pops up, we have options. We can give a stop or warning or information. So in this case, we're going to put stop because we don't want them to continue on in that cell unless they put in the right data. So again, we're going to call that date and go ahead and say the information or the date was incorrect. Please input the correct date. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click OK, and now we can see we have these cells selected. That pops up. So go ahead and give it a try. So we'll go ahead and just put in the date 2011, 1st of January. See if it lets us, and it does. So let's try a different one, and let's try putting in 2030, January 1st. See what happens, and it doesn't let us. Its date was incorrect. Please input the correct date. Okay, so we can click retry, and it'll give us another try. And so we can go ahead and do that. Okay.
Alright, so this is Meifang, and I'm going to continue doing the data validation on the item number. So first of all, I want to make a list for the item number. Assume that we have 5 item number that we want to choose. So I want to name that first. Oh, I already named it. Okay, so the item number I already put it on here. Okay, then we go ahead to choose this. Okay, first of all, we pick the cells that we want to put on, use this function. So we pick, go ahead, pick the data validation, and we have settings. So we allow these cells to fit in the list. So remember to check on these things so we can use the cell drop down function. It'll be easier for us that we won't type a wrong number. So the source would be, we choose this here, this list here. And then we can input message. Title would be item number. Okay. The input message would be please select an item. And then error alert title the item number. Or message, we can put please select, oops, the right item number. Go ahead, push OK. Okay, so we can try this. There's a drop-on list here, so we can choose one. Then, so we can continue doing the setting the unit price over here. We can again pick this cells that we want to do the function. And we can set it again from the setting. Unit price, we want to have decimal, two decimal. So between the value between $1 to $5. The message, please input the unit price. Error alert, unit price. Please input the price between 1 to 5. Hit OK. So we can try. So for example, we put 2. So it come out like $2. So we can try 6. So 6 is out of the range, so it will give us the warning. So we cancel that. But here we don't want that many decimal, so we can choose the number would be 2 decimal. Okay, that'll be here. Okay, we can go ahead and do the quantity. The same, we choose the cell that we want to do the function, data, setting. The quantity, we want to use the whole number, and between, we can do, have to greater than a certain number. We don't want to greater, okay, greater than 0. No. We wanted minimum 0. Okay, we input the title. Quantity. So input message, please. Input quantity. Sorry, we have to put the numbers greater than 1. So it would, okay, we do the error learned. Quantity. Error message. Please input the amount greater than 1. Okay, we can try. If the quantity would be 0, then we got a warning. If we are doing 12, so it works. Okay.
Alright, so next what we're going to be able to do is to be able to use some other validation tools within Excel, okay? So to access these different tools, we can now go to the Formulas ribbon, and here we have a worksheet set up with a balance sheet. And then let's say, for example, we want to know how to make sure they're calculating everything correctly. So something we can do is we can click on this tab, Show Formulas. So we can go ahead and click on that, and it'll go ahead and show us all of the different formulas. We'll say, okay, if that's what we want. As well, we can hit Control, the little squiggly next to 1, to the left of 1. Can't remember what that's called exactly. That'll also show us the formulas. And then as well, what we can do is, for example, we want to make sure the totals are correct. We can also click on Trace Precedence, and it'll show us how it's calculating that number with a nice arrow. So that's nice, and then we can always remove those. And then as well, we can make sure that that everything balances out correctly and all of our formulas are right. We can click this right here of error checking, and it'll check our entire sheet for errors. And so those are some of the very useful tools we can use in Excel to make sure our formulas and spreadsheets are error-free. Thank you.